Chapter 13, 73. Acknowledging Fang Yuan as the leader. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Purple Mountain. True monarch had no more life force. He was now a corpse. What a clean death! Duke Long snorted. His cold dragon eyes could see both the inside and outside of Purple Mountain True Monarch. Purple Mountain. True Monarch had many immortal goo originally, but he had sent most of them away, while the rest had died along with him. Not just that, his soul was dissipating quickly. Duke Long wanted to stop him, but he could not. The more surprising thing was that Purple Mountain True Monarch's corpse had many downmarks originally, but now they were all dissipating. He truly left no resources to Heavenly Court. Duke Long let go with his hand, as the Purple Mountain True Monarch corpse with zero value fell to the ground. Soul beasts roared and surrounded Duke Long. But because of his great power, none of the soul beasts dared to attack him. The soul beasts were far bigger than Duke Long's body, but he could actually move confidently and slowly, unhindered. As expected of the door of life and death, there are a great number of soul beasts here. Even if I kill some, more will appear. They are endless. Duke Long sighed softly. The door of life and death was a secluded domain of heaven and earth. It had existed since the creation of the World One. Thinking about it, throughout history, the souls of all living beings that died would reside here. Only after Red Lotus Demon Venerable damaged Fate Goo did souls gain the ability to remain in the outside world. Thus, deep inside the door of life and death, only Spectral Soul Demon Venerable would know how many soul beasts or souls there truly were. Duke Long did not pay attention to these soul beasts. Even immemorial soul beasts were just small issues to Duke Long, unless it were a legendary immemorial desolate beast like Zuo Yehui or Mao Li Chu, then he would have to deal with them seriously. Spectral Soul has been captured and most of the split souls are dead. It is time to go outside and sweep the battlefield. Duke Long had the immortal killer move Dragon Gate. He could freely enter and exit Blessed Lands and Grotto Heavens. Even if Shadow Sect's Blessed Land closed its entrance, it could not trap him. But when he was about to move, the entire Blessed Land started shaking. Cracks were forming in the sky like a shattering mirror. Duke Long frowned slightly. The entirety of Shadow Sect's Blessed Land is self-detonating, as expected of a demon. This way, Duke Long had no choice but to give up his earlier plan. He had to take out the door of life and death before the Blessed Land was destroyed. If the Blessed Land was destroyed, it would create the winds of assimilations. This important, secluded domain of heaven and earth would not be safe. Grr! The Soul Beast army growled with fear in their vocalizations. This world was getting destroyed. These soul beasts felt that a calamity was coming. More and more soul beasts went into chaos. Duke Long went against the tide and slaughtered a bunch of soul beasts, ending up in front of the door of life and death. At the same time, outside Shadow Sect's Blessed Land, we cannot take it anymore. Several pure dream reality seeker physique bodies flew out of dream realms one by one. They were not complete extreme physique bodies. They had flaws. Even though they had dream path Tao marks, they could not stay inside dream realms indefinitely. Once time was up, they would have to come out. But when the righteous path Goo Immortals in southern border wanted to kill them, the Super Goo formation activated and the pure dream reality seeker physique bodies were teleported away. These pure dream reality seeker physique bodies were created using the cocoons of light by Purple Mountain True Monarch, who expended his own soul. In terms of identity, they were considered Shadow Sect split souls. They were the lingering split souls of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. However, their battle strength was unreliable. Purple Mountain True Monarch had only given them some mortal goo before dying. And their thoughts and foundation were vastly different from Purple Mountain True Monarch. They were like new entities. Greetings to Shadow Sect's new leader. After seeing Fang Yuan, they paid respects to him. Before Purple Mountain True Monarch died, he had arranged everything. Hei Lu Lan, Binding Bing, Ying Wu Shi, Fairy Miao Yin, Black Tigress. They all came out of the immortal apertures of the pure dream reality seeker physique bodies. Facing Fang Yuan, these people had interesting expressions. Miao Yin pays respects to Lord Sect leader. Fairy Miao Yin spoke first. She and Chao Lu were among the three great fairies in southern border. Her voice was alluring, her clothes were a beautiful pink, her body was alluring, and her eyes were deep set. Her nose was tall, and her eyes were seductive. Lord Sect leader, Black Tigress followed. Her expression was stiff. Not long ago, she had fought and wanted to kill Fang Yuan. But now fate worked in mysterious ways. Fang Yuan became her leader in such a short time. Hai Lu Lan gritted her teeth, sighing deeply. Hai Lu Lan pays respects to Lord Sect leader. She had worked together with Fang Yuan, became enemies with him, and was even saved by him before. She also used her aunt, Blazing Heaven Demoness, to trap Fang Yuan. But later, during the Battle of Yiqin Mountain, because of a change of events, she had to join Shadow Sect and undergo a tough alliance agreement. Precisely so, after Fang Yuan took over Shadow Sect, he could decide her life and death. Hai Lu Lan had to lower her head. To think that the day would come when we worked together again. Bai Ningbing stood alone. She crossed her arms as her dragon eyes shined with cold light. She sighed as she looked at Fang Yuan. Her relationship with Fang Yuan went even further back. From Qingmao Mountain they had traveled together, and now both of them had their respective fortuitous encounters. They met again and became allies once more. It was truly interesting. As for Ying Wuxi, he was still in a dream realm. Fang Yuan looked at these Gu immortals. His gaze swept past the pure dream reality seeker physique bodies. They had short lifespan. They would detonate when time was up. The higher their cultivation level, the shorter their lives. Thus, these pure dream reality seeker physique bodies were cannon fodder. Among the members of Shadow Sect, the only ones important to Fang Yuan were Ying Wuxi, Hai Lu Lan, Bai Ningbing, Fairy Miao Yin, and Black Tigress. There was also Sixth Hair, the spy of Shadow Sect inside Langya Blessed Land. He counted as the sixth person. Among these six, Hai Lu Lan was the most trustworthy one to Fang Yin because she could not betray him. Fairy Miao Yin and Lady Black Tigress were members of Shadow Sect due to Purple Mountain True Monarch's true inheritances. After inheriting everything from Purple Mountain True Monarch, Fang Yuan had a good grasp over these two. Ying Wuxi and Sixth Hair were split souls of Spectral Soul. Since Fang Yuan became the new leader of Shadow Sect, they had to acknowledge him. As for whether they would follow his orders and act with enthusiasm, that would depend on Fang Yuan's leadership skill. Bai Ningbing was the hardest to control. She had set an alliance agreement with Shadow Sect. They had equal status. Even when Purple Mountain True Monarch was still around, Bai Ningbing did not show them much respect, not to mention Fang Yuan, who had just become the leader of Shadow Sect. In this instant, all sorts of thoughts flashed through Fang Yuan's mind. Oh, next he said, Hai Lu Lan, look after the Super Gu formation for me. I need to wake Ying Wuxi up. He was controlling the Super Gu formation to resist Fairy Ziwei. It was very hard for him to split his concentration on any complex killer moves. The reason why he chose Hai Lu Lan was because she was the most trustworthy among the five. Immortal killer, move, unravel, dream. Fang Yuan succeeded in saving Ying Wuxi, allowing him to escape the dream realm. However, even though Ying Wuxi was awake, his condition was not normal. He was listless. He had no fighting spirit at all. He was lying down on the ground like his back was removed. He had been completely broken. Spectral Soul was captured. Purple Mountain. True Monarch died. Ying Wuxi's hopes and dreams were shattered. He felt like there was no future left. It was bleak, and there was absolutely no hope. Since his life began, the goal of saving his main body had always motivated him and driven him forward. But now that this goal was crushed, Ying Wuxi lost all his drive. Even though they were all split souls, he is still too young. He has not lived as long as Purple Mountain True Monarch since the Battle of Yiqin Mountain. How long has passed? Fang Yuan realized as he urged. Where are the inheritances that Purple Mountain True Monarch left in your immortal aperture? Pass them to me. Even though Ying Wuxi was dejected, he still acknowledged Fang Yuan's identity and opened his immortal aperture's entrance, letting out a purple will. The will was surrounded by rank 8 immortal essence, as well as immortal goo, floating in the air. Purple Mountain. True Monarch? Fang Yuan took a step back, feeling vigilant. Even though Purple Mountain True Monarch only had a will left, his immortal essence and goo worms were a threat to him. The purple will slowly formed into Purple Mountain, True Monarch's appearance as he passed all of his immortal essence and goo worms to Fang Yuan, like what he had promised earlier. Immediately, Fang Yuan refined all of the immortal goo. Fang Yuan finally let out a sigh of relief. Earlier, even though he communicated with Purple Mountain True Monarch, that was all he could do. He could not let Purple Mountain True Monarch send all of his inheritances into Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. Purple Mountain. True Monarch had to pass these inheritances to Ying Wuxi before Fang Yuan could take them. Of course, Purple Mountain True Monarch did not request anything from Fang Yuan, but his intention was clear. Purple Mountain. True Monarch wanted Fang Yuan to save these people. Of course, if Fang Yuan refused, he would not be in danger. To think that my gains this time will be this huge. After getting the inheritances, Fang Yuan sighed. In his original plan, he wanted to exterminate Shadow Sect and get rid of Shadow Sect's remnant forces. If he was lucky and went one step further, he would be able to capture Spectral Soul's remnant soul. Of course, he did not bear much hope in that aspect. He knew how hard it was to capture souls, and even if he succeeded, the soul search would be extremely difficult.